Anthony Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd. Melon Man, Namethany named Tano, or whatever you want to call him. He is more than likely the most famous music reviewer of all time. On YouTube, his main channel, The Needle Drop, and second channel, Fantano, have combined over 5 million subscribers as of the making of this video, and he has over 7,000 videos, most of them being passionate reviews of music. But with this many eyes on you, you're sure to get some haters, and Anthony Fantano is a controversial figure in the music industry. A lot of people love him, and a lot of people hate him. So the question is, why do they hate him, and why do they love him? Well, before I answer those questions, first let's realize that this man has been doing music reviewing for over 16 years. He's had a lot of deleted reviews and videos earlier on when he started, but he made his channel in 2009 when he was 23 and has been consistently uploading for 17 years. I also read in an article that I found that in 1997, when he was only 12 years old, he used to have a music blog and later would be on a radio show before his Needle Drop channel. But even though his channel started in 2009, he wouldn't get any real popularity for a few years. His channel really just started off as a guy having fun making videos, talking about his love for music to anyone that would listen. Looking back, I don't think there is one review that really blew up Fantano's channel. I really believe it was just him being really consistent. But early on in his career and channel, he had one of his biggest controversies.
I'm feeling a light to decent 6.
Okay, this is fake.
That's just my opinion. You guys, you were asking for this.
Okay.
Let me know what you think
Okay,
of this album.
no.
In November 2010, a young 25-year-old Fantano would make his review on Kanye West's beloved album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and this would go on to become probably his most infamous review to date. Anthony gave Kanye's album a 6 out of 10, a light 6 at that. And over the years, this would become infamous because it's considered by many to be one of the best hip-hop albums of all time. Now, at first glance, you can just look at this and say, oh, he made a mistake, he was younger and newer to the Needle Drop channel, still understanding his ratings, because only a few months before this, he gave Plastic Beach by Gorillaz a strong 7, and then came back 10 years later to do a Redux to give it a strong 9, but he would double down on this and do a Redux review for this album 10 years later, better articulating what he didn't like about this album, and instead of a light to decent 6, he would give it a strong 5 to a light 6. Now, music is subjective, anyone knows that, but when your job is reviewing music and you give a fan favorite album like that such an average score, obviously you're going to get some backlash. But I'm going to come to Anthony's defense here, because as I said earlier, he has thousands of reviews, and out of his thousands of reviews, there's only a handful of times where people said, oh wow, that's a crazy rating. So to answer my earlier question of why do people love him and why do they hate him, well, it's very basic. It's what he does. It's his reviews. Any controversy Fantano has had to do with the rating he's given to a certain album. But you read the title, saw the thumbnail, and now that you know a little bit about him, I want to explain why I think you should actually respect Fantano and how his reviews and videos are very helpful for new music fans, hardcore music fans, and anyone who just likes anything about music. My first and biggest reason is that Fantano's palette for music and diversity in genres that he listens to is insanely wide. He listens to everything. And I think almost every other single music reviewer I found on YouTube has some type of limit of what they like or what they listen to. That's not an insult to the reviewers, it's just how human brains and music taste works. Some channels will mostly talk about hip-hop, some channels only talk about old records from the 70s, but Fantano is somehow the only person and the most popular person I've seen to have such a wide diversity in music taste as a music reviewer. My second point is his influence, and I'm not going to come on here and say he was the first music reviewer ever, obviously not, but in the early 2010s, Anthony Fantano really popularized the style of video music reviewing, and I'm sure a lot of the music reviewers today wouldn't be where they were at if Fantano didn't do it first. Another point to make about Fantano's influence is that because his music taste is so wide, when he gives positive reviews to an underground or unknown artist, it gives them more exposure to music fans. And my third reason for why I think Fantano deserves respect is pretty simple. He was able to make a life and career out of something he's passionate about, and I think anyone who works hard enough for their dreams deserves respect. Not only that, but his passion overrides any bit of personal relationships he has with the people he talks about. He could have the best conversation ever with someone and give them a 2, and then have the worst experience with another person and give them a 10, which I think is rare to see for someone in his field. Now, you might be angry that I just defended Anthony Fantano, and I think there's probably 2 reasons for that. Either you're mad he gave your favorite Drake album a low score, or I'm coming across too biased and as a fanboy of him. Now, I will admit, I am a fan of Fantano's videos. If you're someone like me with multiple passions, sometimes you pick one up and go to the other, and when I rediscovered my love for music, Anthony Fantano's channel was extremely helpful and educational for me to learn about more genres and learn about good music. I'm not going to come up here and say he's always right because that's far from the case. I mean, one of my biggest gripes is that he said Hail to the Thief is better than the Bends. And obviously, I don't think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a 6. I think it's overrated, but not a 6. But see, my opinion is irrelevant too. It's all subjective at the end of the day. But my entire point is, whether you like him or dislike him, there's nothing wrong with that. He is a critic. He is meant to piss people off. I feel like people are afraid to make a video like this, whether they are supporting Fantano or hating on him, because both of his fans and his haters are both really obnoxious. On one side, his fans will worship everything he says, and on the other side, the haters will discredit everything he says because he gave Playboi Carti a 4. But I wanted to look at Anthony Fantano with a neutral lens. Regardless if I'm a fan of his videos or not, I wanted to give him his flowers. This is a guy who made his life and career out of just talking about his love for music. And no matter what hate comes his way with his reviews and his ratings, he will never change up his opinion for anybody because his love for music is that strong.